everybody. My name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie, where we have amazing and inspiring conversations. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Thank you so much for following us, liking, subscribing, giving your comments, giving us feedback. I'm really loving the trajectory and the way that Just Angie is flowing. Really big shout out to Matu and Althea as well, who have come on board, which is so good. And they're able to bring different conversations, which you guys are loving. And I'm so grateful for that. So without further ado, I'm going to ask my guests to introduce themselves, and then we're going to have a conversation. Karibuni, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Looking amazing, resplendent. I'm so grateful. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll start on my furthest right.
So glad to be here. My name is Ariel Etsabo. I'm first the daughter that actually God loves. And I am a mother. I am a career-oriented woman. And I love these conversations. Why it's close to my heart, Apostle Angie, is, in the marketplace, I actually take care of vulnerable children. And our core is centered on children. A child should not live alone. So this is one thing that is very dear to my heart. Apart from that, I also run an empowerment program where it's called Love Basket, and I reach out to children of incarcerated parents and widows. As you know, the world is not very kind to widows, and my mom is one, so that is where what was born. Other than that, I'm part of the advisory board for Sisters in Scripture and so much more. Thank you.
I'm so grateful. I didn't notice that. That's so crazy.
I know.
Look at how God was
waiting
waiting here.
Story.
I'm like, oh my God,
wow.
okay. Oh my goodness, Tina Karibu.
Thank you very much for having me, and glad to be here. It's taken a while, but finally, yay, I'm here. Christine Musau, I'm a mother of 3 children and a wife, and I also serve in the marketplace. I work with an organization that, like Diana, takes care of vulnerable children, children and youth. And just like her, family is so integral when it comes to what I do. And I'm just happy to have this conversation with you, Pastor Angie.
And really, and Karibu, and thank you. I'm just amazed. I didn't know that you both work with children, because your organization works with, is it children and youth?
Children and youth, yes.
Same here.
And yours as well.
Children and youth.
And it's
and
addressing their vulnerability
and
families.
Yes.
Like, honestly, we can't make this stuff up. I don't even know where to start now. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, God really knows how to put people together and really to come and have the conversation. So I want to just have a conversation about family, marketplace, marriage, children. So I don't even know. Maybe we start with, so you've each said how many children you have. So maybe you can tell me the age of your children. How long have you been married? And these people, they love to know how people met. So how did you meet your husband first? Let's start there. Background, how did you meet your husband? How long have you been married? How old are your children?
Actually, we were having that conversation.
Really?
While we were waiting, yes. And it was so interesting because I have 2 children, 10 years and 7 years. And we've just celebrated our 11th year in marriage.
Wow.
Yes. And that was very eye-opening for us, because we were just looking back what the 10 years has been. How we met is very interesting. So when we met, my husband was born again and I was not. So this friend of mine, I remember that weekend we had just had some time with my sister and we were in my place. And then my friend called me and told me, you remember that friend of mine who I always tell you helps me drive my car to come to the mechanic? So I'm coming near your place. And I was like, okay, you come, you will find me here chilling. So he came. And so for me, I found him to be a very, quiet, very quiet man, and looked very organized and all that. That was my first impression. So I was like, hey, by the way, you, I'll make sure I sell you off to my sister.
You are selling him off to your sister?
To my sister, who was there. And I was like, you take care of my sister and all that. And so that day passed on. Then the next meeting, I was actually celebrating my best friend. She's late now, but my best friend's birthday. So we had gone to a certain restaurant. apparently he had gone to celebrate his birthday the same day. So that's the second time we saw each other. He remembered me. Of course, I remembered the face, but I didn't remember the details. So I was with that sister of mine, and the sister reminded me that, you remember, this is the guy you said you're going to sell me to him. And so I went, we had a conversation again, we exchanged numbers. Of course, I gave him the number that is not going, orange number that time. The number that is not going through.
Why, Ariel?
Jesus is nice. Jesus
Why
is
now?
nice.
Why are you giving the number that's not going through?
Imagine.
What is that?
And then, so after that, when I told him again about my sister, that's when he walked up to me and said, by the way, I'm not interested in your sister. I'm interested in you. Same boldness under the bed. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm interested in you, so I'm pursuing you. What? So that's how it started. And going forward, we would meet. He would teach me the word. I knew the word. I always tell him I'm his disciple because he taught me the word. He's the one who taught me about the Holy Spirit. But why the one thing that really pulled me to him is the first person that I met that was not judgmental, because then I was still doing all other, all that. And there's no day he told me no. He just kept preaching the word to me. And so one day he left a pamphlet, what I was telling you, for Benny Hinn had been in town. So he invited me to go with him. I said, no, I'm not going to sit on grass. You go come. So he came, he went, left a pamphlet. And that night, I took that pamphlet and gave your life, and I gave my life to Christ. And yes, that's how it was in my room. I cried for 3 hours. I can never understand why I cried for 3 hours. Then I took that pamphlet, I said that prayer, and I just said, Holy Spirit, take over. And it is after that when now he was saying, okay. So I told him three days later, I think, because, I was waiting for that thing that happens, and I was wondering, nothing is happening. So after that is when now he said, now I can introduce you to my mom. Because the plan with God was, you have to get born again. If he says, because he says the first time he came to my house, the Holy Spirit told him, that's your wife. Wow. And he's like, God, really? Because he's given the list there. She has to be born again. She has to serve in church. And gets the opposite of that. But one thing he says is, the one prayer he always said is that he'll get someone who will love God more than him. Wow. And he didn't know how that will map out. But these days he tells me that you truly love God more than me. Yes. So we got married 11 years down the line. Here we are, 2 kids later, a lot of wilderness experience that I've told you before. So I think it was in my 6th year. Yeah. When I got cervical cancer. And again, that's why this conversation is very dear to me, because those are some of the wilderness experience that once you go with someone, you truly know that this person is with me. There are others who run away. And I always, I actually wonder if it was the other way around, would I have stayed? Yeah, because season. It was a serious 4 years wilderness season. And I really, really bless God for that. I always say he's the gift that God gave me. Wow. Yeah.
And we must come back to that, because I've just thought about it. Like those 4 years, were you working? What does that look like in terms of career and not being healthy? So that's important.
Yeah.
Tina?
I met my husband in the marketplace.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, at work. I remember. Was it at work?
Yes, at UNET at the time. We've been married for 20 years. So let me start.
Wow.
Yes, 20 years in June.
Bow down for clapping. Let me put on my gadgets here. 20 years. Wow. Even 10, 11 years we celebrate. I'm telling you, people are not being married even for 1 year. Yeah. 20.
Yeah. To so God 20 be the glory.
Years to God be the glory.
Wow. Yes, it was also a shocker for us. We're like, we've been together for 20 years and still going strong.
That's so good.
Yes, we met in the marketplace, but ours was very interesting because I used to see him at work. He was one of the bosses. And I was the receptionist.
Yes.
So he would come to the office, I would see him, but nothing ever crossed my mind
that this is your husband.
Never, ever. Because again, a lot of like her qualities, I was a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
So there are those qualities of he has to be born again. By the time someone talks to me, loves Jesus, he was not those things.
Hey, chairman.
Yes,
It's hard to believe he's not those things. He looks like he was born in those things.
No, not at all. So, but my friend, we were workmates at the time, and we used to sit together. At some point, he said, saying, "I think that guy. What do you think?" I look at her and I'm like, "I don't think anything.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking anything." But what was so funny is that one time we were going for a team building, and I was put in his car. You know, the way you're paired by different, you carpool. Also, you'll go in this car, you'll go. Everyone had their own mode of transport. And I was in the car, and I remember telling him, "Why don't we stop in the supermarket? I just need to pick a few snacks." Now, for him, he was like, "Stop, supermarket, pick snacks." There's something about this chick. Now he started paying attention. So got snacks for the people who were in the car and went for the team building. But that's when our conversation started. As he dropped me home, he's like, "But I think I know you. I know your siblings." Apparently, he knew everybody
in my
family except me.
Goodness.
No. Yes. How
he
that
knew
happened?
Doc. He knew.
Yes. He's like, "I know your sisters. I know 1, 2, 3. He knew everybody in my family except me.
You had never met.
So what started now, it became a conversation. Would meet, would chat, would meet in the office. Hi. He was very professional, very serious. You know.
I know.
How German can be.
That's why he's called
very serious face. And you know, so we just started having conversations, and our conversations now started moving towards God. So each time I would talk about God, I would talk about church, I would talk about that time I was serving, I was in the worship team. My weekends, I'm busy, I'm going for worship team practice. So he started getting curious because he's from a Catholic background. He started getting curious. He's like, "You know, for me, church,
it's not like this.
It's not like this." And at some point, he had already started wanting more from church apart from what he was getting. So the invitations started coming in. "Why don't we go to church? Do you mind joining me for the service?" And he would come to church once in a while. And while at it, he was posted to Mombasa. So just when you're beginning to have conversations, he was posted to Mombasa.
Oh, no.
Yes. But that is where I think that everything, when you look at things in hindsight, you realize everything was orchestrated by God.
Yes.
Because now he had to find God for himself.
So, wow.
And while in Mombasa, he connected to Mombasa Pentecostal Church, started attending service, always listening to Hope FM, and he gave his life to Christ in the car while listening to Hope FM.
Wow.
But of course, at that point, you're like, okay, this guy has given his life to Christ. Is it for me? Is it for real?
Yes.
Is it because of what seems to be
happening here?
But he was genuinely, he genuinely gave his life to Christ, got connected to things of God. And you know, Chairman, overtaking anointing. Now he's a minister.
He has the overtaking anointing.
He's a teacher of the word in his own right. And I really, really thank God for
That's so great. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's been 20 years.
It's been 11 years.
It's been 20 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the conversation I wanted us to have was around family, marketplace, raising children. I'm not even ready to talk to Tina because her children are ages. I'm like, no. When I left calling baby Wema, what happened? But children grow. But what, just off the top of your mind, what has that experience been like? Raising children, working, being a wife, being a mother, and the marketplace.
Let's start with you, Tina. Wow. I would say it's been some days a roller coaster, trying to get everything together. And what I've come to learn, and in hindsight, is that it's not a work-life balance kind of thing.
There's no balance.
It's integration, because once you start getting the kids, dynamics change. You get the first child, very different. Second child, very different. At the same time, you're trying to grow in your career.
Yes.
And for me, I was at the peak of my career. I'm trying to now move. I'm trying to go to school. I'm trying to, raise a family. The dynamics are very...
And how did you do that? Did you try to go to school? Like after, maybe explain, because we like to, we're trying to educate people from our lives. But when you had the first baby, what changes?
Number one, your hours, your time.
Yeah.
The baby takes all your time. Because you've never been a mother before.
Yeah.
So you're trying to adjust to, number one, you're married. you're trying to adjust to getting to know your husband. Yeah. And while you're at it, there are dynamics that come with it. He's from a different background.
You're from a different background.
There are things that I'm used to doing a certain way. He has his way of doing things. So you're trying to merge and create something new for your family. While you're trying to do that, you're expecting. There's a journey when you're expecting because you're changing. Your body is changing. Demands are changing for yourself and also for your spouse. You know, today you're feeling good. Tomorrow, you're not feeling good. At the same time, you have a job that you need to keep.
At the same time, it just feels like it's a lot and we did it.
It actually
now you have a job.
It actually is a lot. And I remember when we got our first child, my husband had already gone into business. So he was not in full-time employment. So this is a job that you need to keep.
Yes.
Because again, you need the finances.
You need the stability of at least one income.
You need the stability of the income in the home. So here I was trying to balance all these three or trying to just get a rhythm. But I think for us, what really helped, and I'm saying for us because my husband was very integral in helping at this point in time, is that he had a bit of free, quote unquote, free time. So I would be able to go to work and he would be able to take care sometimes of the child when I'm away. But at the same time also, I remember, and this was my mentor at the time. She's called Gladys Ogalo. And I'm saying her name because I always shout out to Gladys. Gladys was my HR boss at the time. And she really worked with me. Yes.
What?
And Gladys, I remember one thing she said is that make sure you have systems in place as a wife and as a mother to help you because you can't handle all these things at the same time. Get help and don't be embarrassed to get help. If it is washing the clothes, you don't have to be the one washing them.
Get somebody to wash them.
Get somebody to wash them.
Yeah.
If it's taking care of the baby, look for a trusted person and be able to let them help you. So for me now, at that point, it really freed me. Because when you get, especially the first baby, you want to be hands-on, you're learning, you want to be the superwoman, you want to be, again, there for your husband, perfect wife, making sure everything is aligned. But deep down, you can be crashing. Yeah, so for me, getting help was really, really integral for me.
And I think one of the things which is nice as well is I didn't know you were going to say that Gladys was your HR man. Can you imagine? And she helped guide. So I think HR staff and personnel have a great responsibility to make sure that that every aspect of this conversation that these women are covered and they feel safe and they feel they have somebody to talk to and to walk through that journey.
And also creating the environment at the workplace.
Yeah.
Because you're a mother, you're a new mother. So there are certain times that either you need to step out, the baby's unwell, you have to express, because you want to keep breastfeeding your child. So you need time out to express. And sometimes your hormones just go all over the place. So you need an employer who will be able to understand and walk the journey with you. So for me, I think I was privileged to have clients.
I want to ask Ariel and make sure I come back and I want to know when you went to school and your career and how many children you have and how to balance that whole thing.
Right.
Ariel?
So now for me, first of all, let me start at the point of, the Beijing protocol women, those ones, we are career and career is us, and that's the world. So Ariel was there, yeah? And I'm sorry for all the women I told they should not think about marriage. I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow. You told people they should not think about marriage.
No, we should go for career and, go for those. Yeah, that was me.
Apology accepted.
So from there, I remember early in my career, I was pretty aggressive. So I'm in the communication, journalism, and marketing world. So I started off as a journalist. So a young girl, I was traveling all over. It was very fun. By then I was working for Standard. So there's this, how we take news, So it was very easy for a single young lady doing that than the married ones, right? So then it reached a point you're like, okay, I need to pivot. What do I need to do? But even before I say about career, let me say in terms of how I grew up. So we are 9 of us at home.
9?
Yes. One mother. I'm the 5th born.
Wow.
So the basic thing your parents could give you, if those who relate with me, is education, right? And for me, kulima was not an option because that is what we were being threatened with. That is, if you don't utaenda kulima. So me, Yeah, me, education was my way out.
Yes.
And then remember, I'm the fifth born, so nobody notices you. So I started now doing good in school for my parents. You know, the way you become number one for yourself. But I noticed if I do well, then daddy recognizes me. My sisters are, and so that was how I entered into the career world. So did journalism and started working. But now, when you turn into you're moving to your late 20s, you start thinking differently. Like, is this the life? Is this all we'll see? So yes, you're there, you're the heart of the party, but deep down, you're feeling that hollowness, like something needs to fill this. And so during that time, I remember I traveled out of the country. I was in Norway for 2 years, still the same thing, single. There was an opportunity to represent Kenya. I went. But when I came back, nobody understood why I came back, because everybody was like, why did you come back? But for me, there was this something that I needed to deal with that I didn't know what it was. And it was immediately after that when I now met my husband. And a year after that, we got married.
So that's what you were coming back for?
Yes. I didn't know at that time, but there's something that just clicks when you meet a certain person. But now I think the challenge comes in when I was at the same place. I worked at Royal Media for 12 years. So I was at Royal Media. They saw me single, the girl who was partying and everything. Then I went and came back. I was still working there. Now they see this one who has gotten married. So there's a lot of pressure. And the pressure also comes in when you're the one who's getting married and your circle of friends are still single. So one thing I noticed when I got married is I lost some of my core people, not because there was anything in between. It felt like we did not have much in common anymore. And then now came my firstborn. And then it was a CS. Now, again, the complication of work. So you're there, you're wondering, everyone is saying, with these complications, you're supposed to be home at 6 months. Who will pay you for 6 months? But again, I thank God for the HR.
Oh, good.
Ross Wanjohi.
Yay, Ross.
Ross Wanjohi. And I was able to do CS, stay at home. I also had an amazing boss that time. And so that helped. But in the sense of balancing, there is no balance. I think you have to they have to complement each other. And maybe most people don't even talk about this when they're thinking of family. But for me, the blessing I got was my house girl then. She was actually called Diana, like me. And Diana raised my son for 6 years. Yes. And she left my home when she was going to get married.
Wow.
She even actually had her first child in my home. Wow. So that child was integrated in our system until the husband was ready to take her and take care of things. But that played a big role for me to be able to balance work and home.
Because you had the right help.
Yes, because I had the right help. And I think most women do not talk about it, but that's the postpartum. You don't even know when it hits. But if you're a career woman who had a child and had to go back breastfeed in the workplace, not breastfeed, express. Then that is something that most of us went through without knowing. And at least now there are systems where you can know and they look. But then
there were none. You had to find a place.
Exactly.
It's not like today where some workplaces have a place. It wasn't like that when you guys were there.
For us, it was
you just had to figure it out.
It's a legal requament.
No, it's a legal requirement.
Yes,
very good.
Yes. And
that you provide a place for the woman to
breastfeed.
To express.
To express.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm happy that actually
but you
right
can
now,
imagine, because now you're going to ride across that. One. So where were people expressing?
So you're finding your friend, either your friend who has a car, you go in the car and express, and the friends have to stand on the window so that you're not seen. It was terrible.
It was terrible.
Some even in the loos.
Sometimes in the loo, you just hide yourself inside the loo. We have progressed. Which is a good thing. And that only makes you depressed.
Yeah, I was going to say it's traumatizing.
Yes, it's traumatizing.
Whether we like it or not, because a lot of changes have happened to your body. You're not even understanding who you are.
Yes.
Then you have to go back to work. You are expressing. You're feeling, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a mental. Now we have a word for it. That time we don't have a word for it, but it's a lot of it. I think it can be very traumatic.
Very traumatic.
And maybe you feel so alone going through this.
I'm telling you, nobody understands you. And you see, and I love my sisters. And most of them had gone ahead of me. They have children. But the dynamics are different because none of them had a CS. I'm the only one who's had a CS. So nobody knows how to deal with this thing. So utapona to so they did the best they could, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And then now balancing that with my husband, I actually thank God again, even for me, my anchor is Baba Imani, because he's a very calm person and he's again very excellent in whatever he does and thinks through everything. Unlike some of us who just panic and So what he did, I remember that time to balance even my time and his time, he said we sell one car. We remain with one car.
So that he has to pick and drop. Oh?
So that we can have at least our own special time in the car.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So he sold one car, we remained with one car to date. And we have seen how that has shaped our marriage. Because
that was so
that 30 minutes, just having real conversation, like yesterday I felt like this, that's when I'm able to tell him. So by the time I leave the office, he speaks to me. By the time we reach home, we've already said about all the negative things that I needed to say about work. And by the time I'm getting home, now I'm ready to be a mother and a wife. Yeah.
You've had a place to decompress.
Yes.
Which is so important. I like that.
Yeah.
That's so important that one of the solutions could be to sell the car.
Yeah.
So that you're always in one car and you're having these conversations.
Absolutely.
Which are key. But if you had two cars, you wouldn't have had them. Everyone would arrive separately. Then there's home, then there's work, then you'll never talk about it. And that's how sometimes people grow apart.
Exactly.
Because it's very simple. There's really nothing wrong. It's just that you're not going together. You don't know what's happening in my space. I don't know what's happening in your space. So that's wisdom.
You're just existing, And so that really helped us early in our marriage, just having one car. And so we do things together a lot. If it's church, you have to be ready at the same time. So there are no gaps. And then now at home, I think before the wilderness experience, so so Imani I think was 6 then, and Amarisa 3. And what he would do is we started having that family time, prayer every 7 p.m. So whenever we do our different things for the day, we consciously know, please be home by 7, just so that we have that meal with the children and pray together. And that has happened throughout our marriage to date.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So sometimes when I'm not there, he would pray, but we have to compensate for that because the children ask, Mommy, I mean, why today you are late in your meetings.
These children, they're very brave these days.
Yeah.
Mommy, you are late.
Hey, Mommy, you are late. You're not here. And so for me, it's that integrating your marketplace with your family.
Yeah.
And then I think also, let me just mention Apostle Angie, the way it's so important to understand God first, family, then work. Early in my career, God, family, then work.
Not God, work,
then family.
Not work.
Yes.
So it's God, family, work. And it must be kept like that because it has to be like that.
Yes, it has to be like that. And so just understanding these small, tiny secrets earlier in my marriage is what has helped us be there for 11 years.
Yeah. And helped in the family as well.
Yes, in the family, absolutely.
Because that's so important in terms of building the family.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what sacrifices do you feel you've made as a mother and in your career to be where you are today? What sacrifices have you made?
For me, I would say education.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, unpack that. Education.
Yes, at some point I had to prioritize. I had to decide what is important.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was when I was doing my master's. I remember that's the time I was expecting our last one.
Really? Baby Wema?
Yes, baby Wema.
I still call her baby Wema.
I know, right? The baby is 11 years.
Yeah, she's Wema.
Yes. So I feel during that time a lot, it was already a lot because I already had the 2 children.
She was the 3rd child.
Yes. And I was doing an evening program. So of course, and I was working.
Wow.
So went through class, finished the coursework. But now at the point of writing the thesis, that's the time I gave birth. And then at some point, my dad was unwell at the time. So one had to give because now again, everything is demanding for your time.
Yes.
Is it the baby that you pack? to help at home, or so I just packed
the
masters, and I said I'll pick it up. Education, you can always pick it up at some point. So I feel for me that's a big sacrifice that I made. But again, it becomes very hard to transition back from where you left it. Because again, dynamics keep changing. I got a different job. I'm growing in my career, getting new responsibility, beginning to travel. So again, keep packing it. I'll pick it up at some point. We'll finish. But at the same time, this other side is growing. So I feel I wouldn't call it like I don't think it's a totally bad thing.
No.
Because I can see on one side I really grew. My family grew. My career grew. So now I'm at the point where I feel everything is stable and I'm ready to make.
And the thing is also timing.
And the timing.
Timing is important because now they're so big. I mean, I'm so shocked. Timing and seasons. I'm actually shocked about how but are they expected to grow? I don't know, but they've just grown. I'm like, I'm not ready for that growth. It's too much, you know? I'm not ready for Chioma to be 18. What do you mean he's 18?
How? 18 in a month's time.
How? And then you send me a picture, they're even taller than you. I'm like, what happened to these children? But children are meant to grow. So you see, like now there's a season. Somebody who has very young children. Yours are 10 and 7, also middle. But these are now adults. They need care maybe at a different level, but not at that very demanding level.
Yes, but I feel when they are younger, you really need to, maybe not exclusively, but you really need to pay attention to the foundation. Because that's a foundational age for the kids.
You need to.
So there are certain things. Formed. That's where they are formed, and you cannot outsource that.
You can't.
You have to be there as much as possible to do that. You and your husband. For those who are married, and we had that privilege. So for us, it was very foundational because that's where you teach them the habits that they form, the things you want them to learn early. That is the time that you get them to do that. And then as they grow, you realize the foundation that you laid, it becomes easier for you now. Because to parent, because there are things that you're not dealing with. Because you handle them
in the foundational stage.
That's really so I feel that sometimes it's a sacrifice you make, but with time, it pays off. It pays off.
So I'm going to come back to you with, I want to talk about mom guilt because you said you travel a lot. So when you travel, was there mom guilt on your part and how that was? And then I'm coming to you, Ariel. I want to talk about being sick and being in the marketplace and all that, but thank God you got healed. But that must be difficult as well because that's another dynamic to add. So mom guilt, when you travel, travel without
and especially before COVID. Before COVID happened, my goodness, I lived on the plane. In, out. Now, on one side, it was exciting. And also for the kids, it was exciting because, of course, you'll bring them gifts and nice things and all. But again, in that travel intentionality, we always had calls every single day.
Really?
And
I know some were different time zones. Really?
Different time zones, yes. But have calls, we have our family devotion together.
Oh, wow.
So wherever I am, figure it out. But somehow God just would align things.
Wow.
We have devotion together. We have calls together. Check in every single day. I would not rely on somebody telling me how everybody is doing.
I want to know how everybody is.
So we would synchronize with my husband and we'll just have our calls together.
That's so good.
The good thing, my employer, and I really thank God for them, is that you don't take long trips.
Okay.
So you try and stagger them maybe a week, get back to your family, take another week, get back to your family. And even when you get back, we have something we call compensation time. So they give you time to be able to compensate for the period you are away.
Amazing organization.
Completely.
Very intentional.
Completely. Very intentional about family.
I'm hearing intentionality in everything.
Yes.
Intentionality in the time that we take together.
Yes.
Because I keep coming to the factors. How do, because maybe somebody watching us is thinking that sounds so fake and everything. But what you need to do is get into a rhythm and being intentional. So that you don't draw apart.
That's the thing.
We are meeting every evening at this time.
Yes.
And then now you've taken it to another level. It doesn't matter where you are.
Figure it out.
Yes. Be on the call.
Before they sleep, we have had a conversation.
Yeah. Because what I keep finding, I keep repeating it, but what is we just grow apart. There are actually no elephant things. Even all the things that come, maybe there was adultery or all those things, they come because people have grown apart. Because we have not been intentional in creating a rhythm, a system, and making demands because it's not comfortable to be in another country, in another time zone, and we still have to meet. But you have said, as a family, this is who we are. So that meeting together, that's very intentional.
It's intentional.
Very, because and then the organizations as well are intentional. So I think it's important as well for organizations to get intentional in how this family unit is happening.
Yes. And I think also for an individual, you have to make that decision. If the organization you're working for is not aligned to your values, you have to make that call.
And it's a hard call.
It's a hard call. You have to decide, do I want to stay here? But figure out how to make up for the time that you're away, or figure out how to make up for the time that you're giving to your employer. But you can't outsource parenting, and you can't outsource being a wife.
And I just want to say this, I don't even know where it's coming in, but you remember, like for Althea, I would not let her go for sleepovers. That thing caused chaos.
Don't worry.
For many years, hard years of, oh my God, I tried. I don't know whether you thank me, but you see now it's better because there's a new answer I was telling her. Can you imagine if something happened to you, that then we have to spend the rest of our lives correcting? Stay here, then it won't happen. Stay here, it's all right. Because I can't risk it. I can say, oh, I just want to give in but if something happens, it's going to take the rest of your life and my life to correct it.
That's true.
Stay here. So there are things that are foundational that I refused, which they're good. They're serving me now. So it's the same way you're saying. Look at the organization that you work for, or even do homework on the organization you want to work for, because you don't have to go work for people who don't have intentional, great people in human resources and a culture that is growing family. Because we have to. We can't just give it all away. Go work for somebody else who's going to let that happen. Okay.
At some point, you just walk away, because I did walk away from...
You did?
From a job that didn't align completely
with your values.
And I walked away not knowing
where you're going to go.
Where I'm going.
But see, God is faithful.
But it was so clear. This is not what I prayed for. This is not what I signed up for.
Very good. And I'm not going to go ahead
afraid.
And but you still go. Another door's open. You're here. You're here to testify.
That's another testimony, actually, of how that happened.
We're going to go there. Ariel, you're not well. We're so sorry. And now you're 6 years into marriage.
Yes.
And you're not well. And it seems that this sickness took 4 years.
Yes, the healing process took 4 years. So again, I was just telling her that testimony. So let me first say this, that when you were talking about the sacrifices, I want to say this. You see, when you're born in a family that only education is what your parents can give you, then you might have to sacrifice if I'm going to follow journalism, which is what I love and love and love, or I need to do something else, which I went into marketing because there's extra money apart from the salary. I get commissions, and that helps me sustain my lifestyle, and that is what helped me do my degree. So when you do not have the money at hand, that is a tip I want to give, that you can always bank what you love, survive first, then you can go back. And you see, now I am back to what I love. But I had to bank it, back to communications and the social impact space, which is what I've always wanted. But I had to sacrifice going on with journalism, PR, because the money was not good enough to sustain me and to take me back to school. So that sacrifice has paid off later. But many people never understood why I left journalism and I was good at it. But it's because I needed money to go back to school. But now the sacrifice is after doing the degree. Now the marriage came and the children came, and like you're saying, prioritizing. So the prioritization was, first let the children grow, still be in this market, then you do your masters. But when I actually got sick, I had applied for a scholarship to Leeds. Yes, that has always been my dream school. But I could not go on because in the middle of it, then the diagnosis came, cervical cancer. And so what this does to a family, and I thank God, because it's only God who held us together. So I go, first of all, I was sick. Like I told you, I bled for 9 months continuously. So by the time they're sorting that out, then it's diagnosed. I have cervical cancer. I'm supposed to start to do hysterectomy. So you're supposed to think these things in weeks. As in, they don't tell you have this and you have a month to think, no, a week. So then there's that conflict of believers and us who are born again. They're saying just pray. And then you're here, you have to make the decision with your husband to go. So you're going, but some are not with you going. They want you to,
they want you to just say faith and, and wait for God to heal. But the problem I think also with that is it could be getting worse.
It was worse, as in the doctors said you cannot even have more than 3 days to think about this.
What? 3 days?
Because there was nothing. There's some steroids when you overbleed, there's some steroids they inject you. It couldn't stop the bleeding. And by this time it was clots as big as my fist.
What?
Continuously. So it was first, we need to stop the bleeding. Then immediately the bleeding stops. Those 3 days, because mine was not even staying for 24 hours. If it can just stop for 3 days, then we'll go for the surgery. We couldn't do pap smear because of the bleeding. So we did MRI, and then there's something called PET scan. It's in, I think, Aga Khan and so we did the PET scan, then this is it. So we have to go through this. You're not mentally prepared. You'll be prepared, Ukombele, because remember you have 3 days. So we make the decision. We go through the hysterectomy, and they actually describe that radical hysterectomy is like 41 women going through childbirth at the same time.
My goodness.
That's what is
because there's a friend of mine who had one. She was also in so much pain even after. Yet she was on like really serious pain meds. But she had a lot of pain.
So you have to be done the injections and you have to take tabs. So during that time, so there's this condition. My child was 3 then, and she was breastfeeding. My baby girl.
What?
Yes.
So are you expressing as well?
So now I can't because of the dawas.
Even all the dawas that are in your body. So what happens first?
So now that she has to stop. My son, by then I think he was in PP2 or grade 1. And so what happened is the whole family is involved. Don't imagine that it is you.
Everybody.
So you have gone through this. My husband is being counseled there on how to handle, because the pain can be too much, and he was the punching bag. You couldn't even believe I was born again because the words that were coming out of my mouth. And he never complained. So later, that's when I understood they had counseled him before. And I would just scream out of the pain. I couldn't sleep on my bed for months. I was sleeping on the couch. Nothing is working. And you have a catheter, because when they're doing the surgery, you have a catheter. By the time I'm leaving, so when they were doing the surgery, remember they always leave the ovaries because of estrogen.
I don't know.
So
they remove the womb?
They remove the womb and everything, but they leave the ovaries because of estrogen.
Why? Because your body needs estrogen to survive.
Yes. For a woman, estrogen is so vital.
Otherwise, you go into menopause. Okay?
Yes. And even one thing people don't know, that when your ovaries are not functional, then the body does not heal you, because they're thinking, why should we? Our bodies are created for reproduction. So when that stops, the body is telling itself, this person has died. Yes.
Ariel.
Yes. So without ovaries, that's why they leave them there, because estrogen is so important for women. So now I bleed, one ovary overbleed, so it's cut off. So I remain with one ovary, which can still work. Then I go for radiotherapy. So the other ovary dies. So I have entered menopause.
You entered menopause?
Yeah. Immediately you don't have estrogen. No ovaries. I've entered menopause. Then there's the pain that you're going through because of the healing process. Then that's time they found my sugars were 26, so they said I was pre-diabetic. And so all this concoction. And you have a catheter. So you go home, your husband is going through it, the children are going through it. My children are traumatized to date. My children are traumatized.
It must have been tough.
It must have been. It was a tough season. And I remember my husband took my children. I will never forget that. So me, I'm there with my pain. My children are confused, and he takes them to the room and talks to them and explains to them what is going on.
What's going on?
And my husband now involves the children in the process of my healing.
That was wise, though.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we don't tell them.
We'd never tell
African.
them. Yes.
Now it's better. You guys were raising the different generation. Before, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So nobody tells you.
Nobody
you have
tells
to jazia by looking at things. So it's important to explain to them because they do understand.
Yes.
You must explain to them what is happening. What's going on. That was wisdom.
Yes. So my husband explained to the children and involved them in the process. So when it's time for my medicine, baby girl would go and bring the medicine. Baby boy would be involved in the water and they would do their medicine. So my husband would arrange them and then they're giving one by one in my mouth. Yeah. So they became involved.
Which is good.
Yeah, so that really, really helped. But the trauma even in school and my son...
Even in school, why?
Yeah, so for the children, when they were going to school, one day my son told the teacher, can we pray for my mom? She's sick.
They tell if you know who knows all your stories, be very respectful of your teachers.
Yeah.
The things they know about you.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Yes.
So now the school knows.
So now the school knows. And I thank God because the foundation was also biblical. It was a Baptist school. So now, work-wise. So there's Rose Onjohi, the HR director at Royal Media. The day she had the news, she was the first person who called me from hospital. She called me and told me, Diana, you get well. The one thing I want you to do is get well. If I have to take you to India, I will take you. But you have to get well. That's all. And for months and months, remember I'm at home. So I was working from home for almost 2 years.
You're still working?
Yes. Okay. In I'm still part of an employee. I'm an employee.
So, you have to work actually. So 2 years.
For 2 years. And I always
they give you assignments?
I would be able to let my team know what to do. But it wasn't exact. So for the first year, I didn't do anything. I was just receiving my salary and getting well. So second year is when I said, just to remove my mind from this situation. Remember, you're holed at home for 1 year. You're not going anywhere. The only place I would go, the only place I would go is my husband would drive me to church, put me inclined chair, incline the chair for the car
outside the
at
church.
The entrance of the church, and I would listen. I would listen to the word. That is what kept me going. So the second year, so the HR says, if you can do. I can do as much as I can. So I would talk to my team, and everything would continue, but I would not step in the office. So I think I stepped in the office the last days of the second year, but it is when I can. So one thing I really, really appreciate is that because most will not take care of you for 2 years.
Know.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
So for 2 years, that's all I did. I was just going. Even the third year, I would go when I can. When there are meetings, when there are managers' meetings or meetings with my boss, then I would show up. But after that, nobody would expect so much.
Yeah, but I still know you were being effective. You must have been still being effective.
Yes.
And that was 4 years.
Yeah, so 3 years. And now the fourth year is when I was well and I transitioned.
To going back to work.
From Royal Media now.
Oh.
Yeah, so I went back. Things were set in motion. And now I moved to my new workplace where I am right now. And this is the place I was telling her, this is 2024 is when I can say I started doing things like a normal person, going to work, coming home in 2024 in the new workplace. So even Royal Media did not enjoy that part of me.
Let me ask you, Ariel, just in case, we don't want anyone to be sick, but I just feel like you should speak to somebody who is unwell, because I'm also thinking, what's going through your mind? Even you yourself. Okay, there's the sickness, but what's going on up here? As you're going through the sickness, just look into that camera and encourage them.
So I want to encourage someone going through, it can be cancer, it can be the impossible diseases that we are being told cannot be healed. I am here as a testimony that God can. So the one thing you can tell yourself in your head, because your mind has to shift first, start seeing your healing. Start seeing your healing. No matter how dark it is, God loves you. He chose you. He cares for you. He finished it at the cross for you. So Stay strong. Remember that if God is for you, who can be against? What is cancer to be against you? What is migraine to be against you? What is kidney failure? What is that? Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. You are healed. Amen. You are healed.
That's a lot of peace. Because, like the first time I was diagnosed with a lifestyle disease, I remember I cried. I was shocked by my reaction, but I cried. It felt like a death sentence.
Yes.
And I just was like, honestly, this cannot be happening. But then now through that, we've learned to manage it and everything. But it's hard to be given. It's hard not to be healthy.
Yes.
It's hard to be unwell and then still expected to function in all ways that you need to function. I think it's difficult.
And remember also, it's very important who is around you.
Yes.
That's true.
You guys are lucky you chose the right people.
Yes.
You look like you chose the right spouses. For real.
We thank God. Yes.
You chose the right
Lord
spouses.
Who is around you.
Because who is around you? I cannot imagine. I just didn't want to say it, but I can imagine being single, going through that situation, plus with children. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
There's so many places where you said you leaned on your spouses, to get you through a season or to get through. So it's hard to do this alone.
You can't do it alone. It's hard. You cannot do it alone.
You need to find that.
Yeah,
counsel.
God has to send you that person.
But I think for me, my greatest, lesson from today is to choose right. Choose right. Choose who you will be with. Choose where you're gonna work. But you see, also, you need to understand your values.
Yes.
Because that's what will give you the right choices. What am I valuing?
Yes.
And they're saying we're time out, because I want to give you a party shots. But I need to know what changed your mind from being the woman who was advising people not to get married and you are not going to get married. What shifted, Ariel?
Let me tell you.
How do you make such a crazy jump?
For me, what shifted is when I saw the love of God, when I experienced the love of God
through this man and
through this man.
Wow.
So it was not because you see, most of the time when we say and do these things, it's from a point of pain.
It's true.
Yeah.
It comes from a point of pain.
Yeah.
A point of, you are not happy.
Yes.
You're delusional, maybe. I don't know if it's delusional, but you don't think this is something that is good for you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So then I meet this person that actually makes me experience God.
Wow.
I literally saw God in no judgment. You can live somewhere, someone cannot judge you and still be there for you at your weakest. Because you see, what people don't realize when you're married, it's your husband and your wife that see the worst version of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone else sees the best version.
Yeah.
And if that person sees the best version of you
and still chooses to remain with you and have a relationship with you and do life with you, that's the gift.
Yes. So for me, that was it. How he loved me and showed me the love of God. And I said, no, now I need to tell you. The same way I told them not. Now, through my life, please see, it is possible.
It is possible to do this.
It is possible to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel so. I want you both to give you a parting shot, but that's one thing I'm really picking. You chose well. Because I think in all that we've talked about, it was about family, marketplace, raising children, all this. You have to choose well and choose wisely. You can't just pick anyone. You've got to think through the values and think through who you're marrying and why you're marrying them so that you can move forward. And then the other thing for me is the intentionality in growing as a family.
Yes.
That was so intentional. We are going to grow, and it looks very simple. And we're going to do this. I always say, when I went to Israel, and I think we went to do the second trip.
I didn't make it.
Oh, you didn't make it? It was Vivian then.
Yes,
but I remember being in one of those trips. I walked into a room and there were families on each table. I think it's either I keep saying whether it's their Sabbath. I think it's their Sabbath. And at the head of the table was the man and his wife on his right side or something, and then the children. And I was like, first, that's what makes them a strong society. First, I hear he has to pray, then he has to bless his wife. Then he blesses everyone. So you can imagine those are 52 blessings in a year. Those are 52 blessings from a father.
Yeah. Wow.
To bless his wife. So you can't abuse her because on Saturday you're going to bless her with the word. Then you bless your children. No wonder they have such strong communities. Because that's the secret to life is family.
Yes.
There's the secret to life. It's family. So you've got to do it right, make sure it's right, and it grows right. But maybe you can give us your parting shots. And thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you. But as you're talking about choosing right and making it work, I think the foundation is God.
Yeah.
because you're two people, you're imperfect. We have made mistakes. My goodness. Throughout our journey together, we have made mistakes, both individually and collectively. But what grounds us is Christ. So even as you choose right, be ready to forgive. Be ready to make sacrifices for your spouse, for your family, and be ready to take the risk and say, I will make it work. And God is always so faithful that even when you're in the deep, even when you've made mistakes, even when you've not parented well, God always restores. So for me, the foundation is remain grounded in God. Ask Him. He's the one who knows how you should parent your children. And all the children are different. Ask God how to parent them. Ask God how to love your spouse. Ask God how you show up as a wife to your family, and He will show you. Thank you.
Amen. How you show up as a wife, a mother, everything. Amazing.
Yeah. For me, I'll say what I always tell my friends who are married, that women, remember, if you want heaven in your home, then remove hell from your heart.
Move hell
from your heart.
Wow.
So that's what has grounded me. You want heaven in your home, put in the work. But for it to work, you have to remove hell from your heart.
What do you think removing hell from your heart would be?
What she's saying, the offense. Offense is one of the things that
big one.
We have
maybe bitterness.
Yes, offense, bitterness, unforgiveness. Pursue joy. The joy of the Lord. If you do not have joy, God has nowhere to pour.
Yeah.
So you have to put, but you have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
So just know, two imperfect people coming together, it's a journey of becoming. The word says he will leave his father's house to become and join. So it's a becoming means it's a journey. And don't compare the way you do things in your house to any other marriage. The foundation is only Christ, the principles of Christ, the values of Christ, but how your house runs. Kama your husband washes dishes, don't go and tell your friend
your husband has to wash dishes.
It's true. Please find your own formula that works, but be grounded in Christ.
Yes. And for me, I think I say pray for your children. Because when I look at Althea now, honestly, she's really spoils that child. Even now because of dishes. She used to hate washing dishes in my house. That was the biggest fight we had. Now guess who washes all the dishes? Matu. No.
She can't.
Loves washing dishes.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, give her the one who doesn't want to wash the dishes. So you see, God answers. So also pray for your children. Pray for your family. Believe that God can. But I think the foundation is God.
It's God.
And so everybody out there, you really must find God. Find God. You know, I always say you try everything. You've tried every other way. Try Jesus.
Yes.
Some of these things we can't imagine doing them without God. We can't imagine. It's gonna be, I don't even know what it is. So find God, find Him in your own way. Take time, but find Him and walk with Him. I'm so grateful. We must have another conversation. Like we haven't finished. Like we didn't finish the bucket list. I wanted to ask you about your 20s, 30s, 40s, but I think we've answered what is there, and it's very deep conversations. But what I love is the way God brings people together. I am completely like flabbergasted. Like what?
I know.
Like you guys, you have so much.
So much in common.
In terms of your social impact and the things that you're doing. Absolutely amazing.
Imagine.
So I really thank God for you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
And sharing your hearts and your life with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. God bless. Bye.